What's going on, boxing heads? It's your boy Pool Counter Boxing, coming back at you with another boxing video for the boxing heads and the boxing minds. Now, this fight coming up this weekend, David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Now, I believe David is going to win this fight because I think he's younger, I think he's bigger, I think he's stronger, not like on the basis that that he's like just super stronger than Demetrius Andrade. Just the fact that he's been at the weight class a lot longer than Demetrius Andrade. Now, I do believe that Demetrius Andrade is the more skilled fighter. I do believe he's the more skilled fighter, and I think if this was 2 or 3 years ago, I think he would have destroyed David Benavidez, right? Just because Demetrius Andrade is a special fighter. He fights from weird different angles, right? But I think because of all the inactivity in his career and him not having to face the toughest battles out there, I think that's going to hurt him in this fight. Even though when you're talking about a great fighter or a fighter with such skills, he could raise his performance. I mean, that's quite possible that David Benavidez can raise his performance, right? That's what great fighters do. They make the adjustments, and I do think that Demetrius Andrade, can make adjustments, but I think he's long in the tooth when it comes to fighting somebody like a David Benavidez, who is an active fighter. And I think that's the difference, the activity. We saw that with Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. And, it all determines on, do you keep your skills sharp, right? When you're sharpening your skill, how long you're sharpening your skills for. You got to look at the wear and tear on a fighter. And, even though Demetrius Andrade haven't been, he haven't got a lot of wear and tear on himself, because I don't, as long as I've been thinking about it, his career, I don't remember Demetrius Andrade really getting into any wars or anything like that. So he's relatively fresh, if you want to really think about it. He's really fresh, but he goes through bouts of inactivity, and I think he spent a lot of years at the zone fighting, humdrum type opponents, right? So I think that's going to hurt him in the battle with David, because David is one of those dudes where you got to be on your A game, you got to be active, and you got to be sharp. Now, let's suppose that a sharp Demetrius Andrade come in with all the skills intact and his legs. I think that Demetrius Andrade could beat David, the Mexican monster. But he would have to be all that and then some, because David, on top of throwing so many punches around, being able to flurry, fast hands, and constantly coming like the Terminator, and just wearing you down with nothing but aggression and nothing but volume punching and activity. If Demetrius Andrade, if he can't withstand that kind of pressure, he's going to fold. But then David can't cut off the ring, and Andrade, he likes to move and hit, which a lot of fighters can't throw punches and move at the same time. So everything I'm saying, it sounds like Demetrius Andrade has the advantages, but he has to be on top of his game. So it really depends on what version of Demetrius Andrade we get on fight night on November 25th, right? And if he's firing off on all cylinders, he can beat David Benavidez, right? That's something that he can do. If not, then we're going to see a beatdown. I think it's going to be something like a Calep Plant. So in the end, most times youth beats the old guard, right? But Demetrius Andrade is a special case. Can he tap into his true abilities? And if he tap into his true abilities, he'll beat David Benavidez. But if he don't, it's gonna look like Calep Plant. You know what I'm saying? His legs are gonna give out. Around the 7th or 8th round, and then we'll start seeing that change, like a Rashid Ellis versus Villa. Remember that fight? And where Rashid Ellis was just, giving Villa the business. He was just beating the crap out of him from all angles, anticipating outboxing him, all the skills in the world. Villa just looked ordinary. You know what I'm saying? He was throwing haymakers, but he never stopped throwing those haymakers, and he never stopped putting that pressure on Rashid Ellis, right? And around about the 8th or 9th round, you saw Rashid legs go, and that's when Villa, start getting in that ass, right? And it was just like, wow. I mean, you can see the change immediately. And I think that's the way this fight is going to go for Demetrius. I think he's going to turn old overnight. Now, if he doesn't turn old and he has his legs and he's able to tap into everything that makes him Demetrius Andrade, I'm talking about, the weird up jabs. I'm talking about the fast switching and pivoting and the moving around. If he can do that for 12 rounds, he can outbox the Mexican Monster, and he hits harder than David. He has more percentage punch power than David. David don't hit that hard. He just hits you a lot, and he'll accumulate a lot of damage by hitting you over and over. And he has super speed on his. He got super hand speed. David Benavidez. David Benavidez has exceptional hand speed. So, but Demetrius no slouch either. But he has Demetrius has a very awkward style. So he can throw David Benavidez off. He can throw him off. But it just depends. This fight can go a number of ways. But I just believe that this time, Demetrius Andrade had his time. And I think he squandered it, right? Going to the zone. And I think that was his prime. I think that was his best days was over at the zone, right? So, he comes over to, he say, at the end of his career, he's fighting, one of the most relentless, guys in David Benavidez. So, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that, And, even though I think he will keep his composure, this is a test. It's a test for Demetrius Andrade, right? It's a true test. So, I just want to see how he handles it, right? I think the Mexican Monster is going to edge him out, and I think he's going to have to come from behind. I think that Demetrius Andrade is going to have the first 4 or 5 rounds, through movement, through his experience, and then I think he's going to fade, and I think that's when David's going to come on and try to go. But if David go for that knockout, and he don't get it, it's going to be a close one. Because, I think Demetrius Andrade is a veteran. He knows how to survive, and he can outsmart David Benavidez. So you can see how I'm kind of like playing it out in my mind. That it's going to be a rough road for David Benavidez, because Demetrius Andrade got more tricks up his sleeve. He has more experience. He's more versatile. He's the most versatile fighter that David Benavidez has ever fought. So, that's why this fight is so good, because there is no clear-cut winner, and that we're tired of fights like that. We want fights that the hardcore fans have to think about, because when you think about all their skills in totality, you don't want just one guy to have all the clear-cut advantages, right? And you can't think of, there's nothing you can think of one side, having all the skills, and the other side just have no chance of winning. That's different. That's the difference when you talk about this fight, because both guys clearly got their advantages, And but I think the Mexican Monster, I'm for moving forward. I'm tired of the old guard. They take so long to grab a great fight, and I think the Mexican Monster will just move it on to David Morrell Jr. I think this is his time. I think this is David Benavidez time. He's fought 3 eliminators, trying to get Canelo in the ring. And I think he deserves it. I want to see the young man move forward. I want to see him move forward. And I want to see him, do great things in the future. I want to see him fight David Morrell Jr. That's going to be a mega fight when those two, not for the casuals, but for the hardcore fans. That's going to be a tough fight, bro. That's going to be a hellified fight. But, but, so this is my first time, going live on Instagram. I'm on TikTok too. And we're going to start, more live streams like this. So make sure you smash the like button for your boy. This has been Pool Kind of Boxing. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more hardcore boxing content. Peace, y'all.